facing right now is the coronavirus. And so that's what I think about when I recite this psalm. So here it is, Lid David, a psalm of David. Adonai is my light and my help. Whom shall I fear? Adonai is the strength of my life. Whom should I dread? When evildoers draw near to slander me, when foes threaten, they stumble and fall. Though armies be arrayed against me, I have no fear. Though wars threaten, I remain steadfast in my faith. One thing I ask of Adonai, for this I pray, to dwell in the house of Adonai all the days of my life, to behold God's beauty, to pray in God's sanctuary, like the Friedman Levitt sanctuary behind me. Hiding me in his shrine, safe from peril, God will shelter me beyond the reach of disaster and raise my head high above my enemies. I will bring God offerings with shouts of joy, singing, chanting praise to Adonai. Adonai, hear my voice when I call. Be gracious to me and answer me. It is you whom I seek, says my heart. It is your presence that I seek, Adonai. Do not hide from me. Do not reject your servant. You have always been my help. Do not abandon me. Forsake me not, my God of deliverance. Though my father and my mother leave me, Adonai will care for me. Teach me your way, Adonai. Guide me on the right path to confound my oppressors. Do not abandon me to the will of my foes, for false witnesses have risen against me, purveyors of malice and lies. Yet I have faith that I shall surely see God's goodness in the land of the living. Hope in Adonai, be strong, take courage, and hope in Adonai. That's Psalm 27. And now we will turn in our prayer books. If you have a prayer book at home, you can turn to the Shema in the evening service. And if you happen to have the Siddur Sim Shalom for the weekdays, the evening Shema is found on page 138. But most of us know much of this by heart. I will chant it and you can sing along with me. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'yahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavcha, u'v'chol nafshecha, u'v'chol miotecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh, asher anochi mitzavecha, hayom al levavecha, Vishinantam levanecha, vidibarta bam, v'shiftecha b'veitecha, uvlektecha b'derech, uvshafbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayula totafot beinenecha, uktaftam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha. And we can continue silently the second and third paragraphs, which go to the top of page 139. Adonai Elohechem Emet. The special blessing was added to the evening service following the Shema. Normally, right after the Shema, we say Mi Chamocha, which we also do in the evening service. But then we add another blessing at the end, another one of my favorite prayers, Hashkivenu, because the evening has always been sort of a more scary, anxious time for people. It's dark outside. Who knows what lurks out in the darkness? Sometimes going to sleep is I certainly have trouble going to sleep at night thinking about all kinds of things. And so Hashkivenu comes to remind us that God is always with us and to provide comfort to us even when the sun goes down. So we'll recite this in English out loud. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace now and always. Praised are you, Adonai, eternal guardian of your people, Israel. And now we have an opportunity to recite the Amidah silently. If you don't have a prayer book that has the weekday evening service, and so you don't have the Amidah, the purpose of the Amidah is really just an opportunity for us to have a private audience with God. So to pour out our hearts, our desires, our reflections, our hopes, and also to give thanks to God for all the blessings that we have. And so we'll just take a couple minutes for you to reflect upon what your feelings are this time. And even though you may be doing it every evening, I found that every time I do the Amidah, I have different thoughts and feelings because different things are happening in my life, even during the course of one day. So let's do the Amidah, or your own personal prayer. Imagine you're standing in God's presence. Picture what I picture is the universe. I don't picture an old man sitting on a throne. I picture one of those NASA images of what the outer space looks like, because God is the master of all of that. So we'll now enter into God's presence and offer our own words of prayer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Elokei Abraham, Elokei Yitzchak, Elokei Yaakov, melech hasedek. In the evening service, there is no repetition of the Amidah by the prayer leader, but maybe I'll just summarize a couple of the prayers in case you don't have a prayer book at home. The first blessing is about the Avot, and as we enter God's presence, we are reminded that we come from a chain of tradition that goes back thousands of years. People who have had a relationship with God, and each of them had their own special relationship. So it's the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the God of Sarah, the God of Rebekah, the God of Rachel, the God of Leah. Each of them had their own unique relationship with God, and we might reflect on what that relationship was based on the stories we know from the Bible. And then we also have our own unique relationship with God, even though it comes from this tradition that goes thousands of years back. That's so as we're entering God's presence, we think of that, and then we recognize God's awesome power. He even has the power of life over death. He supports the falling, heals the sick, frees those who are captive, those who are trapped in our homes now. Eventually we will be free. He keeps faith with those who sleep in the dust. And so that is the second blessing. The third one is recognizing God's holiness, then thanking God for giving us wisdom and insight that we may figure out how to conquer this illness, how we may reach out to our fellow human beings and offer hope and comfort to them. God has given us wisdom and insight, knowledge and understanding to try and find ways to do all these wonderful things in the world. We ask God to return our hearts toward him so that we will be inspired to do such things. We ask God to forgive us for the mistakes that we've made over the course of the day. And then there's a blessing for refuah shlema, a prayer for healing. Heal us, Adonai, and we will be healed. Help us and save us, for you are our glory. Grant a complete healing for all our afflictions, and on behalf of those we know who are stricken with any illness, and particularly right now the coronavirus. But anyone who is stricken with an illness, may God help them to heal and get stronger and healthier. You are the faithful and merciful God of healing. Praised are you, the healer of the people of Israel. And then there's some other blessings, asking for renewal of Israel, for rebuilding of Jerusalem, and a blessing for the righteous people in the world. And then Shema Kolenu, hear our voice, Adonai our God, have compassion upon us, give pity us, accept our prayer with loving favor. You listen to entreaty and prayer. Do not turn us away unanswered, our sovereign. For you mercifully heed your people's supplications. Praised are you, Adonai, who listens to prayer. And then the prayer asking that God accept our prayers. And finally, thanking God for all the wonderful miracles that God does for us every single day, morning, noon, and night. All the wondrous miracles that we take for granted, that our body functions, that we have food despite everything else. We have gas in the car. We have all these things, all these blessings. We have our friends. We have our family. We thank God for all these wonderful gifts that he has given us, because it's important to be grateful and thankful. And finally, a prayer for peace for us, for the whole house of Israel, and really for all the world. May God grant peace and contentment and loving kindness to all people in the world. And now we'll do a prayer that's often recited. Well, let's sing Oseh Shalom together. That's the conclusion of the Amidah. So we'll sing that together now. Oseh Shalom bimromav, Ya'aseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. May God, who makes peace in the heavens above, grant peace to those of us here on earth, and to all of mankind, and let us say, Amen. Now, there's a prayer that's often recited during fast days, as well as the high holy days. It's Avinu Malkeinu, and we're going to read selected verses from Avinu Malkeinu. It's also been prescribed in the Middle Ages. We know in the Italian Rite, when there were troubles, the plague or some other situation happened, they would recite Avinu Malkeinu also. And so it's appropriate for us to recite it now. Avinu Malkeinu, ein lanu melech ela ata. Our Father, our King, our Parent, our Sovereign, we have no sovereign but you. Avinu Malkeinu, aseh imanu lamatan shemecha. Our Sovereign, our Parent, help us because of your merciful nature. Avinu Malkeinu, kale dever v'cherev v'ra'av v'shvi mashchit v'avon ushmad b'vanei britecha. Avinu Malkeinu, rid us of pestilence, sword, famine, captivity, sin, and destruction. Avinu Malkeinu, mana magefa me nachalatecha. Avinu Malkeinu, prevent the plague in your community and in all mankind. Avinu Malkeinu, shalach refuah shlema lechole amecha. Our Father, our King, our Parent, our ruler, send complete healing to the sick among us, the sick among all humankind. Avinu Malkeinu, aseh lemancha im lo lemanenu. Do it for your sake, if not for ours. Avinu Malkeinu, aseh lemancha hoshienu. Do it, act because of your great saving power. Avinu Malkeinu Aseh Lamatan Rachamecha Rabim. Do it because of your great mercy. Avinu Malkeinu Chanenu Va'anenu Ki Ein Banu Ma'asim Aseh Manu Tzedakah V'Chesed V'Hoshienu. Our Father, our King, have mercy on us and answer us. Though our deeds are inadequate to plead our cause, treat us with justice and righteousness and deliver us. And now, as we've been doing for the past couple of weeks, we don't have a minyan in person, so we say this prayer instead of the mourner's Kaddish for this week. And tonight is the 29th of Adar, and we will say, we have in mind tonight especially the names of Henry Atlas, Ruth Buchwald, Riva Field Deutzer, Inez Eskowitz, Michelle Beth Fallis, Peretz Gerecht, Isidore Gertner, Celia Greenman, Bernard Grimm, Faridun Hakimi, Emil Heilbrunn, Ethel Cecil Israel, Aline Coast, Russell Lee Paley, Wolf Rolf, Mary Rosenfeld, Ethelyn Weber Schaefer, Hyman Sukar, James Schwebel, Kalman Wolf Treeman, Malvina Weingarten, Melvin Allen Weingarten, and please feel free to add the names of your loved one as we pause for a moment for you to do so. Ribono Shalom, Elohei Haruchot Kol Basar, Master of the world, God of the spirit of all flesh, it is revealed and known before you that it is our fervent desire to praise your name and to remember and honor our beloved members of our congregation, our friends and family who have departed recently or whose yahrzeit is this evening. And our tradition is to recite the mourner's Kaddish in the company of the minyan. Though circumstances prevent us from doing so, may our yearning and prayers find favor in your eyes and be accepted and received before you as if we had prayed the Kaddish. May you grant hope and healing to all who suffer. May we soon be able to once again safely gather in holiness and joy. May your name, Adonai, be elevated and sanctified everywhere on earth, and may peace reign everywhere. And let's say together, Osei Shalom Bimramav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, V'imru Amen. May the one who makes peace in the heavens above help us to make peace here on earth for us, for all of Israel, and indeed for all mankind. And together let us say, Amen. That's the evening service tonight from Beth Yeshurun, from the sanctuary at Friedman Levitt, at least in theory, in the Ethernet. I wish you all a good evening. May you be blessed with peace, contentment, safety, and good health. Good evening.